I'm gonna trust myself. Oh, I'm gonna love myself. I'm gonna trust myself, love myself, believe in myself like I used to. Oh.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 25-8 podcast. I'm Keith Kilgore, co-host Johnny Free, and today we have one of my favorite people, four-time world champ, barrel racer, Hailey Kinsel. Thank you for your time, Hailey. Thanks for being here.
Yes.
Thanks for having me. Nice to chat with you guys.
Yeah, so I do want to talk. I know you grew up down in Cotulla, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
So growing up in Texas, starting out early, your mom I saw was a Miss Texas Rodeo, correct? 1980?
Yeah, she was. She was one of them rodeo queens, and my dad rodeoed a little bit. They both kind of stuck to the amateur circuit, and both of them were really smart. They went to college, and they got real jobs. So then there's me. I went to college and ended up with this job.
So I saw
That's a pretty fun job.
Yeah,
though.
I definitely grew up around it.
Yeah, so I will say I did some research and we saw that you went to Texas A&M and you did all the rodeo events, but the goat tying, can you tell us a little bit about that, how that was in college?
Yeah, I love the goat tying. So, you're familiar with the rodeo events that you see maybe at the bigger stock show rodeos, professional rodeos, but goat tying isn't one of them, but it is big in the youth ranks and into college rodeo for these gals that maybe don't have a great barrel horse or don't rope as well, but it gives you kind of a different outlet. And so it mimics the calf roping where a guy will rope a calf and get off and tie the calf's legs together. But since we're girls, we're a little smaller, we would start out on goats, which are obviously smaller than calves. And so we flank the goat just like a guy would flank a calf. We tie three legs together. It has to be a legal tie. So a certain number of wraps has to be around the goat's legs at a point where it's not going to hurt them, but also the goat can't kick free. And the goat has to stay tied for 6 seconds. You get off a horse running because this is a timed event. You cross a timer line and get up to the goat that's staked about in the middle of the arena. So the goat's just waiting for you out there. And as soon as you get off, you have to get to him as fast as you can. And I mean, I've been flipped over by a goat many times. I have dang sure got my lunch ate by goats before. I am not proud to say, but that's part of that event. And these girls get rapid. I mean, you can imagine these are like athletes, like college age girls that could be playing basketball or running track, and they're tying goats. So they get off a horse at a dead run and fly down there and flank a goat and tie it. And I did my best to keep up with those gals up through college. And then that's one of the things, like I said, it doesn't really continue after that, unfortunately, because it is a thrilling to watch event.
Yeah, so I've been to some rodeos and stuff and seen another event called the Wild Cow Milking. You don't see that, which to me that's crazy. I mean, I've seen guys get their pants ripped, shirts ripped. So it's cool to hear about those events that you don't see at your typical rodeo,
For sure. And every rodeo event was derived from ranching, like what we would do in the pasture. Same with the wild cow milking. I mean, you may be trying to catch a wild cow to pair it up with its calf. And sometimes them mama cows can be a little mean, if you can imagine. And they're a lot bigger than all of us. So same with the roping and tying, that's for doctoring and, branding, things like that we would normally do ranching. But the events that kind of took off, they're a little more popular, the bull riding or the barrel racing. And that's the ones that seem to be appealing to every crowd and everybody can understand them a little bit better. So those go further in the professional ranks, but everything mimics what we once did on the ranch, and some of us still do. At least my family still does. We ranch and run cattle. So all those things that turn into rodeo events, they're just everyday how to take care of your stock.
I got ran up a tree by a goat one time.
You got ran up a tree by a goat? Jeez, yeah. Yeah, they say those goats can be pretty mean.
I mean, I'm like a little midget trying to get up this tree like this.
Yeah, buddy of mine.
Goats, you don't want to cross them. I mean,
No.
I showed goats. And so I had my show goats over here, and then I had my tie-in goats, and it didn't go too well when I tried practicing tying the show goats. You can imagine how well they showed for me after that. There was a little bit of a mistrust going on, and they'll get a little waspy. They'll go to climbing and pawing and all that fun stuff. So you definitely want to be friends with your goat if you can. And it sounds like you certainly were not there.
No. So I moved on to the miniature goats, and then I got some miniature donkeys, and they didn't get along too good either for a while. We'd have we'd have donkeys running around the pasture chasing goats, and you know.
So moving on from college, you obviously go pro. You know, you're doing, and you're 8-time consecutive NFR qualifier. So your rookie year, you qualify for Vegas. I got to ask, how was your first experience what are y'all out there? 2 weeks, I'm guessing, right? You got to get out there kind of early in your hotel. So how was your first 2-week experience in Vegas, you know, as a rookie, and saying like, man, because I can go to Vegas, but after 3 days, I got to go home. It's a long time. So.
Right. Absolutely. I'd been to Vegas one time before to watch the NFR with my family. And I was 18. I still wasn't even allowed to walk on the certain carpets in the certain casinos, you know. And now I go back, I'm 22. I'm just as clueless. And they're telling me I have to be everywhere all the time. They're really late nights. You know, the rodeo ends, but we take care of horses for hours after. And if you do great at those rodeos, you have to go to a buckle ceremony after each round. So let's say you win the round, you go there, you're up till midnight. Well, then we're back up at 5 a.m., which a lot of people are up between 12 and 5 a.m. in Vegas. I did learn that. They are doing other activities than what we are doing. And their activities and mine don't really mix. And I have never quite understood the guys that are able to rodeo and have a great time out there. It feels like work. I mean, you're up all hours of the day, and we get up for the morning chores with horses, and then we have the practices. So certain days of the week, we're able to get back in and work our horses in the arena, which is really crucial for us to keep going 10 days in a row and keep those horses sharp. But during the day, we have autograph signings. We're meeting with fans. We're promoting our sponsors, things like that. And all that's super important, but it can be pretty draining because, like you said, Vegas is a draining town. It's not exactly the most fresh air. It's a little bit trafficky, so it takes you an hour to get anywhere. And we're trying to remind ourselves, like, let's sit down and eat. Now we're in the desert too, so you're getting a little dehydrated. Even if you don't partake in the alcohol consumption, you will still be dehydrated. So, like I said, double effect for those people that do both. But it's a lot. That town is a lot. I mean, I still kind of am a little bug-eyed about it, being from a small town. It's just crazy the way things are so different. You could be in the same country and yet live in two different worlds. But that's how Vegas is to me. However, I mean, the fans out there are amazing. It's like that town turns rodeo for 2 weeks. And it doesn't lose its Vegas charm, that's for sure. And there's still people there that they've never been to the rodeo, but man, they've all heard about it and they all have something to do with it. If anything, they're just annoyed by our trailer traffic for those couple of weeks.
Well, I think it's cool because when you go there during the NFR, you can walk down the strip and see nothing but cowboy hats, like 95% cowboy hats for those 2 weeks. And I remember talking to somebody in Vegas and they were like, oh, we call this Texas week. Or Texas 2 weeks or whatever it is. They have some kind of name for it. So, but yeah,
That's fun.
I don't think the people realize, you know, the fans that go, unless they've been there a few times, I don't think they realize how many hours y'all are actually putting in because you have signings and appearances as well to go to, as well as taking care of your horse and all that. So kudos to you guys for staying out there for 2 weeks.
It's the sort of thing, yeah, you do all year long with, you know, your horses. So we're still doing the same amount of horse care, but we're adding on all the elements of Vegas, right? You're adding on the signings. We don't normally have a lot of fan opportunities. And for some reason, our industry decides to cram it all into 2 weeks, the most important 10 days of your life competing, and also the only time to meet all the fans. So it works, but it is a heck of a juggle out there.
Yeah, I will say Rodeo Houston too. You know, you're there for 3 days in a short series. And you have to go up to the concourse, meet the fans, sign the autographs, then go back down. Do you enjoy the Rodeo Houston experience?
I love Houston. Houston's so good to us. They really try and take care of us as contestants. There's a lot of rodeos that are still a little maybe behind the 8 ball as far as getting us the right exposure and making sure that we're also got the best place to park and we got safety for our horses, but we get to experience the fans because they are what drives the sport. It's truly a fan-based sport. So it's important to be able to balance both. And Houston does a fabulous job of it. And yep, we are usually got our horses ready, as in like cleaned up, ready to go. They're in the parking lot waiting their turn. We run upstairs and sign these autographs, meet the fans. We run back down, saddle, and get on and go. And with the guys' events, they may do it opposite. They may get to compete first and then go up and sign afterwards. Either way, kind of whatever fits your schedule. But for us, that works best. And it's a crazy experience. People come by who have never seen a rodeo before. they might even just be there for the concert, and they'll come by and ask what event you're in, and they want to know your name so they can cheer for you. And that's really fun. It feels like you're drawing people into the sport just because you're sitting there with a cowboy hat and a Sharpie, and they want to know why.
Yeah. Are you able to stay for the performances, or do you usually you try to cut out, or does it depend on who's playing if you want to see them or not?
It depends on who's playing. I've done both. Truthfully, it depends on your horse. So some horses recover really well, really fast, and you don't have as much to monitor or do right afterwards. Some of them, I need to get them back to the place that we stay, which is off site. It only takes us about 20 minutes. I've also done it where we take the horses back, put them away, and somehow have time to get back in time for the concert. It just depends how committed you are in. I mean, I tell you what, though, fighting the traffic is hard with the trailer. Our stop and go is really tough. Most of the people going these rodeos have never driven around a trailer, so they think we can stop on a dime. And let me tell you, we can't. We take some wide turns. We stop like a semi. So things like that, we may consider, look, if it's a busy night, I'd love to stay and watch whoever, but I need to leave while the traffic is still parked. And if I wait till the concert, I'm driving out with them. So we make a lot of logistical decisions that may not be what I want to do, but I've seen some amazing concerts in Houston for sure.
Yeah, they do definitely bring some of the best talent in the world. So, speaking of your trailer and you're hauling your horses, your Bloomer trailer, I think I think of Randy and Jake as some of the best people I know, and they can build a trailer. So I'm very happy that you are with Bloomer.
Oh, me too. I tell you what, I've had a Bloomer trailer way before I worked with them professionally with endorsement, and I had sought out a trailer that I thought would be the safest for my horses. I wanted the most comfortable ride, and I wanted them to be as safe as possible because things do happen, and you just don't want to, if you get in a wreck, you don't want them to be in a bind. And overall comfort. I mean, we're in there for hours at a time. I'll usually, even if it's a 12-hour day, I'm going to haul 3 or 4 hours, stop, water, get them off, let them move around, put their heads down, put them back on. So our hauling days are really long days, and they need somewhere that they are comfortable because horses are standing in the trailer, as y'all know, but not everybody does. They don't get to lay down usually. They have to stay standing, which means they've got to be as comfortable as possible to do that, which is normal for a horse. They stay standing a majority of hours of the day. Some never lay down. But that said, we're still bouncing down the road. You can imagine if you were stand up bouncing. So I wanted to make sure I had a trailer that had the space they needed as well as the structural correctness that as we bounce down the road, they're sturdy. Cause you get on these roads in Oklahoma like I am now, and oh man, things bounce a little bit extra. So no
Yes,
offense
ma'am.
to the state of Oklahoma, but they should take offense on that. And working with the Bloomers directly with Jake, with Randy. They're such a great family. They really care about the integrity of their trailers because they believe it reflects on them, not just as a company, but as a family and as people. And that goes a long way. I mean, they are basically, I'm putting my horse's safety in their hands, and they know it and take it seriously.
So how many days of the year are you on the road?
Man, it's a great question. It varies for sure. I would say, at least 200, maybe more than that for short trips, for hauling maybe to a local race back and forth. But as far as staying out and staying gone, 150 to 200. Our biggest time of the year is between the summer. So we're going to start around middle of June, and we don't generally get to come home till into September. I mean, we're out, we're gone, we're on the road. So that's kind of like a tour, basically. That would be our biggest tour versus in the winter. You know, the stock show rodeos for me, I'm fortunate. I'm in Texas. I live in Texas. So I may go to Fort Worth and back home, and then San Antonio and back home, and Houston and back home for a while. So a little bit more flexibility on getting back to the house and getting other things done, other horses ridden, raising your babies, things like that. So the summertime, though, we pretty well commit, lock the door, and say, see you in the fall.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't think people realize how much y'all are gone. So are you doing most of the driving as well?
I'm doing all of it for me. I travel myself, by myself, and I've got a dog or two and a gun, and I'm a really good trucker. I like driving. Not everybody likes it, and that's kind of hard. I personally do like it. If we get in a real busy season, I've got some friends that'll come out and help, but I'm a bit of a control freak. I'm not going to lie. I like to be behind the wheel. I like to be in charge of where we stop and what the horses have going for them. So I'm at least going to be in the rig, if not the only one in the rig piloting it. And that's not necessarily normal. There are a lot of people that do have a driver hired, or they're traveling with traveling partners, friends that are also competing, family members. So that helps too. But for me, a bit of a lone ranger, and I really do like the driving part of it.
We should do a rodeo ride along.
A rodeo ride along like the police do.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
I think people would appreciate it and see like exactly how many hours y'all are putting in, and you know, having, like you said, you're not just stopping for fuel, you're stopping before that to take care of the horse, you know. And people don't see that. So I will, and everybody wants to know, you know, we hung out at a celebrity softball game, and everybody said, man, I can't believe how fast Hailey is. You know, we thought sister was fast, but Hailey is super fast. And, you know, we have some pictures that we'll put, you know, up and we'll show everybody. But I saw Sports Illustrated did an article on that.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm really glad you didn't bring up how well I hit, because it's definitely a little better of a runner than a hitter, which apparently matters in softball. I learned that you need to be able to do both. So I'm not the best runner, maybe not the fastest, but my legs move pretty fast, and I'm a real short person. So I think it's the visual effect that everybody gets behind. Yeah, my horse is known for her speed, but I try my best to keep up. But hey, that was such a fun deal, and I sure appreciate you involving me in that. Just being able to see people from other walks of life that all have the kind of common goal of, let's just get together and have a fun day and support these veterans. That was awesome. Yes,
man. Well, thank you for being a part of it. I do appreciate it. And I have to, so I go back to you driving, and you know, you're pulling into these, truck stops probably to get diesel, right?
A question first.
Go ahead.
So does riding a horse make your legs stronger? Is that
definitely? Stronger and weaker all at once. It's about like lifting weights. You better make sure you're fueled up beforehand, because it can wear you down. And I mean, we're riding a ton. I get on personally, I've got 10 to 12 that I'm getting on a day. And that's not just the riding, it's the saddling, it's the feeding, carrying hay, pushing the wheelbarrow. So all the activity around horses is pretty much heavy lifting. And then the riding itself, yeah, if you're doing it correctly, you're strengthening your muscles for sure. It's a lot like doing squats for about 12 hours a day.
That's what I see. That's where the speed comes from.
Yeah. No,
for sure.
So, you know, going back, whenever you're going to these truck stops, I guess, to get diesel, right? And all hours of the night, all hours of the day. Have you ever gotten any looks like, because I know how tall you are, you know, 5 foot, 5'2", whatever. Are any of those truck drivers, like, they look like, are you driving that? You know, like, you ever get that kind of look?
Definitely. You know, those truckers are great. I love the truck stops. I prefer to park on the trucker side because those are such professional guys. But they will ask, like, so which rig is like, are you team driving, or what's your and I'm like, no, sir, personal in the horse trailer. And then they get it. You know, they've seen it before, but you definitely get the question mark of, like, I wonder who hired her.
Well, I will say those diesel pumps are faster back there too than in the front.
Way faster, and you don't have to run your cart as many times. Yeah, no, they're great. No, I'm real smart, honestly. I say that. I don't mean to sound ignorant even saying it, but like, you got to be smart being a woman traveling by yourself. And we go to the well-lit places. We go to places with good reputations. We go to places where I know, you know, there are other people. There's other truck drivers, because everybody's watching, take care of each other, and that's much appreciated. So yeah, I'll definitely go to those nicer ones. If the light's flickering and it's midnight, you won't catch me stopping there. I'll just roll on a little further.
No, you gotta watch out for your safety, because you are traveling all hours of the night to try to get to the next town. So,
are you a Ford or Chevy truck?
Say that again.
You Ford or Chevy truck?
I'm a Ford girl. I have Ford and Dodge. I've done both. I've never had a Chevy. No, nothing against them. Just didn't come from it. My family had a Ford dealership back in the day, some cousins, so they got me hooked on it. And I haven't had any bad luck. So knock on wood, I was just going to keep rocking along the way we are.
See, I like Ford because they got the thing now for us short people. You can mash a little button and your gas pedal stuff come up and down.
Isn't that handy? That is the best thing ever. I mean, when they put that in, it was a game changer for me, because you can picture me scaling the side of the fender trying to get to the back tank, you know. And anyhow, I'm grateful for that for sure.
I went from driving my Pinto to driving my truck.
So if you don't mind me asking, you know, 5 years ago, COVID happened, and what was rodeo like during COVID? Like, was there a break to where, were you at a rodeo when the world kind of shut down and you went home, and when were y'all able to start back up, or was it different,
For sure. It was a big rut row in our plans. We're looking at it like we're technically an entertainment industry. Now, even if you look at it from a Western world sports, we rely on the fans and the crowds. So we saw rodeos step up that could, from a state level, allow crowds to come. And they may be cut back. A lot of them were for about 2 years. They were cut in terms of numbers. They had people spaced out. But the states that carried us through were all of the heartland. So everywhere from Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota. Those 4 states truly, waved the banner because they were able to say, look, we believe we're all going to be all right in this thing. And they definitely kept having events. So they may be at half capacity, but right about, I would say, what did we shut down? April? Was it March? I think it was March.
Yeah, it was March because Rodeo Houston even shut it down.
That's right.
Yes,
Houston
ma'am.
didn't finish. So we were pretty well at home until, I want to say, May 1st. We got to start going to small events. Jackpots, little barrel races nearby that we're able to find ways around how to allow people on the ground safely. And by 1st of June, I think the first rodeo I went to was Woodward, Oklahoma. And we stayed in Oklahoma quite a bit. We were able to whip up north to Kansas. We even hopped over to Utah for a couple, but it just depended on those states. But it really made us drive a little more. Truthfully, there were rodeos to go to, but they were a little more spread out. And normally we'll kind of hit a route, or at least I will, with one rig and a couple horses. I'll hit one route and I'll go from town to town in a region for a while. I may stay in one state for a week or two at a time. And that COVID year, we were driving from Deadwood, South Dakota to Vernal, Utah to North Dakota to Oklahoma in the same week because there's 4 rodeos happening and we just got to go wherever they are. It became a lot more miles on the road trying to keep up with that. But man, we made it work, and those rodeos really stepped up. Them committees, small towns that were able to push through and host events for us. They understood the impact on us for sure.
Yeah. So like some of the other sporting people we were talking to, they said what drove you guys going, all the pro athletes and stuff, was contracts and TV contracts and all that other kind of stuff. They couldn't stop. They had these contracts and it was going to keep going. So
yeah, and I thought it was cool that the ballpark in Arlington, or Globe Life, that they hosted the NFR that year. So it had to be nice, for you to not have to drive out to Vegas. You just go right up the road and come back home after 10 or 12 days,
Oh, and when I tell you that it was the easiest drive home ever, 2 hours, and I was tired. You're tired anyway coming home from Vegas, but at least you're not as tired. Sleep in your own bed that night. Yeah, and you got to hand it to Arlington. So we were in September of that year, and we're all going. All of us professionals are out there going with no promise of an NFR. So as far as we know, we don't know why we're going. We're just going because this is what we do for a living, but we don't know if all this money we're spending and all the hours on the road, all the sacrifice on our families is going to lead us to a finals of any kind. Because at that point, we knew Vegas wasn't having anything. We knew it was going to have to move. We didn't know what the money would look like. And right about in September, they're able to tell us it's going to be Arlington. It's going to be Globe Life Field, the baseball stadium. It's the first time a baseball stadium has ever held a rodeo. So we're just picturing how this is going to go. And then we get into the NFR. We get it started that year. We still don't know if we're running for the full amount of money. They had to get through a certain point in the week with people abiding by the rules they were going by to continue to keep the ticket sales up. Otherwise, there was 2 risks. One, that it was going to get shut down completely by the city, or 2, the risk that they were going to have to pay out a half portion of the money. So what we ran at was considered points. We were running at these point levels so that if it didn't pay what we were hoping it would pay. So, I was doing great. I had a great week, but I did not know how much money I was winning until about the 8th round. And then they were able to solidify and say, oh yeah, no, you really did win 300,000, like not half of that.
Oh man, I didn't even know that. I didn't think of that. That's pretty incredible to hear. But you're still, like you said, you're still going because that's just all you know to do.
It's the job, and you got to be competitive. We wanted to win, whatever that took. We just wanted to win. It really showed up in the competitors themselves. They gave their best because we give our best, not because we know what that's going to amount to or because we know it's going to put us some good cushion in the bank. We hope for that. But in the end, this is just what we love to do, and we love to win.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I'm going to move on to, I saw the dancing stuff with Luke Branquino, correct?
Oh gosh, yeah, unfortunately. Now, Luke and I talk about competitive. When we enter this dance competition, which is supposed to be for charity, and we're boasting the Western Sports Foundation and trying to build them up. And I tell you what, Luke and I could not treat this like charity. It became an Olympic sport, and we trained, we practiced. We did not win. Don't ask Luke about that. We are still mad. We are pretty sure we got hosed by the judges, and we have some bones to pick with them. You know, I know where they sleep at night. So yeah, it was a fun competition, but in some ways it was not fun because we didn't win. And so we're going to have to work that out. If we ever do anything like that again, it will be for first place. So we're just going to have to get a little tougher on that. I might have to kick Luke, make him run some laps. He doesn't ride as many horses as I do, so I just don't think he's quite as fast and strong as I am.
Well, y'all have my vote. I thought it was great. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I was saying. I mean, these judges, man. That's why I do a timed event.
yeah. That way you don't leave it up to the judges.
And they got judges in the bull riding now, don't they?
Yeah, they've had them for,
Yeah.
that's how they judge. Yeah. Like Dana White says, though, you don't leave it up to the judges.
Yeah.
You just
like,
do
No.
it.
like I like the team thing now that they got with the rodeo. Like where they got the teams now, or they got like 5 or 6 rodeo or bull riders on one team.
Oh, I think what PBR is doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's pretty-
PBR is doing that. And that's kind of taken off in the rodeos a little bit. Frankly, a team concept has been tried from time to time. It's a matter of what can they make stick and sell. And it's got to make sense to the audience, but it's also got to be marketed in a way that it can make money for the contestants. But it is such a fun concept. I've only got to participate in one team deal myself. This years ago. And it was so cool because I don't even know these guys that are competing in the other events, but we're all wearing the same color shirt. So I'm back there cheering on them to stay on a bull or rope their steer. And I couldn't tell you half the ways to do that, but I'm like, come on, man, we need you. It really does bring out a camaraderie that we're really not used to. Our event is very specialized, and you're an individual. It's a little more like golf, but it kind of brings people together in the way that a lot of cool team sports will. So I've enjoyed it. I hope it continues. It'll just be a matter of how they can make it work and how it can be sustainable long term. But the PBR is sure figured out a way for them with the draft and all to keep that up and make it pretty cool.
I think it gets the fans into it because I've noticed when you go to that, the fans are picking their team, and it's like that team comes out and that's each group of fans, and it's fun.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
Did you go?
yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
I mean, they do allow midget hillbillies to go to the rodeo.
I hadn't been to a
Oddly
PBR
enough.
event in years, but no. So, is sister out on the road with you?
At the moment, she's at the house. So the event I'm at right now is just for younger horses. So it's specific to each age. And I'm running some other ones that I'm kind of preparing to go out on the road with her soon. But she is, frankly, we have just been in crunch time mode getting her fit for the summer. She had a little bit of time off after the winter rodeos. I only took her to 3 rodeos this winter, but she was amazing at all of them, Houston being one of them. And when I say 3 rodeos, it may be more than one run like Houston is. We made 5 runs, but that's all count for one rodeo. But I try to take her to the stuff that counts, the big paying events, the ones that I know she's going to show up and be awesome at, and try and limit her workload. But then I want her as fit as possible because she's got some age on her now. No room for error. We want to make sure that she feels good. So I'm just trying to get her fit. I'll start back with her next weekend. We'll make a run back, and 2 weeks later, we'll make another one. About 10 days later, we'll make another one. So you ease back into making those competitive runs. And she's the kind of horse that she bounces back pretty well ready to win first every time. It's just a matter of conditioning, make sure we don't cause any injury or hurt her confidence in any way. So pretty strategic about how to bring her back to where she's going to perform at her best, but we're close. We're close.
Good. Yeah, I think that's one of the best horses out there. So we wish you nothing but the best of luck for the summer and her. And I will. So when you show up at a rodeo, do you usually know what barrel racers have entered, or do you not know till you get there?
I usually know, yeah. So we have kind of a database that shows where we're all going to be. It helps us keep track of each other, as well as if we need to trade, swap days, anything like that. So yeah, I'll know who's in my set when I get there.
I was gonna ask, so if you see a name that you're gonna go to a rodeo, you're like, oh, this is gonna be good. It's gonna be, if everything goes right, it's gonna be between me and these one or two other girls, right? Like, cause you just know, like, they're gonna bring it.
Yeah, I get to run with legends every freaking day out here. That's the cool thing about this sport, especially barrel racing. We don't really age out. You can barrel race as long as you want to, because it's a little more about the horse and the horsepower. And so there's ladies I grew up watching them, and yet I'm competing with them today. Of ladies like Sherry Service. She's a 4-time world champion. She's still out there on the road. Brittany Tanazi is a 3-time world champion. She's still out on the road and here today at the aged event. And I got to give a shout out to one of my buddies, Emily Beisel. She's a fiery redheaded youngster, but like, she is awesome. She's a 7-time NFR qualifier herself now, and has yet to win a world title, but one of those people that is going to be in the conversation every year. And those people really build up the sport. There's always a bunch of young girls or ladies that have taken some time off that are coming back with a new horse, and you sure watch out for them. I don't think there's any duck off rodeo anywhere anymore. The horsepower stepped up, the competition stepped up. But those big names, I mean, they still bring the crowd to their feet. They still get everyone excited. People run to the fence to watch those. And truly, they just elevate the sport. They make all of us better. So I hope they're in my set every time, because that's going to make me rise up.
Yes, ma'am. Well, yeah, I mean, you answered the question, but I was going to ask if there's someone, in high school or college, like up and coming, that you're like, oh, she's going to be great,
Oh, yeah, you got to give that shout out to my Cotulla, Texas native, London Gorham. I mean, her parents they rodeoed. Her grandfather's Phil Line. He was one of the greatest all-around cowboys of all time. Her dad's Shorty Gorham. He's a PBR bullfighter. I mean, this family's rooted in rodeo, and London has been working her tail off for years for the day she turns 18. And I mean, it's just a different approach than I, for example, took. I was kind of focused on school and youth rodeo, and they've been focused on getting her ready to crack into the pros. And so, oddly enough, she's just the only other little girl from Cotulla, and there's two of us, and we both rodeo, and I'll be excited to see her out there when she does get old enough to buy her pro card.
So how fast are these horses going? What like compared to a car?
We're generally, especially when we're running home, topped out about anywhere from 35 miles an hour to 40 max. I mean, it's pretty quick. If you imagine being on a horse, in between the barrels is going to be a little slower than that, going to be under 30 usually. A horse is pretty smart about knowing that they have to shut down and turn. But when we turn loose at that third barrel, it's game on, whoever's fastest across the line.
Wow, 30. Oh, man. So, and we hope you never do this, but when you hit a barrel with your knee, even if you don't knock it over, right, and you just hit it, it hurts, right? Because those things can't be soft or padded, right?
Oh, they are metal, and
Okay.
they hurt. They do. They're, the thing that you have to be careful of is you hit them at a certain angle, then they'll basically wedge your leg between the barrel and a horse and the dirt. And you can guess what gives first. I mean, people can break legs hitting the barrel just the wrong way, versus you can also just skim by one and just get you a gnarly bruise that lasts forever. And I do not have the best looking legs when it comes to wearing a dress. None of us do. We joke about that. They're called barrel racer legs. We have scars. That's what they are. They stay there. They're not going away, but you know exactly what they are. It's like, oh, you ran into something, didn't you? Yep. And I can tell you which horse, what year, and how mad I was at him every time I point to a scar.
Wow. Wow. I never thought about that. So I will say you've ran the pattern a ton of times, probably thousands of times, right? Have you ever totaled up maybe how many miles you've done just in professional rodeo?
I've never even considered it. That's a great idea. I really should. I should start mapping this out. Now you give me something to think about next time I'm driving. I'm going to do some mental math.
So do you guys wear any kind of like a Fitbit or anything like that to kind of keep up with any of this
We
stuff?
don't. We should. And there are a lot of technology stepping up now, just trying to track us a little better. One thing is called split timing, which is simply clocking from the gate that we start from to the first barrel, and then the time around the first barrel, and then the time from the first barrel to the second, trying to break that up to see where is your horse really that fast. And truthfully, I just think that our sport's a little behind on that sort of thing, but you also have the consideration of so many variables in a run, the horse being the biggest one. Sometimes at a rodeo, conditions change. So a lot of places we go, we're running on different patterns. Almost everywhere we go is slightly different in measurement. So trying to standardize it to a point that you can track that sort of thing is important. It's steps we need to take. And it's just one of those things that costs a little bit of money, and we need to get there as a group. But yeah, it'd be really cool. Every once in a while, though, I will turn my phone on and clock my horses when I'm breezing them just at home doing workouts. So I'll do these short sprints, 30-second sprints, and be able to tell how fast we're going. I'll also time their recovery rate, how long it's taken them to recover. I'll time their heart rate, just little things. That's more for me, for their conditioning. So I feel like we do a lot more of that sort of tracking on the conditioning side than we do in the runs themselves.
I wonder if there's like something, I mean, that technology, put on the horse or like,
I don't know.
yeah, I don't have any idea. That'd be, if somebody could invent that, to put on the horse, like the bottom of their foot, that wouldn't come off. It wouldn't hurt
Right.
them, and have them measure how their body's affected doing the pattern, or even, bulls or broncs or whatever it may be in rodeo. I don't think there is anything like that.
No. And I wonder.
Not in rodeo.
So another thing that would be kind of cool too is if there was some kind of preventive medicine for the horses and things like that. Are the vets do they do preventive stuff for the horses for you guys?
Definitely. Yes. The vets are great. And really, you talk about all these technologies that it's going to start at the racetrack or in the equestrian side, the Olympics, the 100 jumpers. Usually whatever we learn, we get from them. So
Wow.
they do it first. They test it out. They have a system, and then our vets are learning from them. And so the vets are doing a whole lot of preventive work. We have all kinds of therapy machines, blankets, wands, various things that can just kind of help loosen them up beforehand, before the run or after the run. I mean, I know the prep is important, but the recovery is almost more important, and making sure those horses, their levels balance back out, and physiologically they're coming to a point where they can heal themselves, because they're just like people. The healthier they are, the better they're going to be.
You ever thought about putting a horse in a cold plunge?
We've done it. So there is there is a machine, and I'm trying to think of what it's called. There's different names, so I won't say the brand name, but essentially it's a cold water spa, and you walk them up into it, run the water up to about chest level, and they turn the jets on, and it's cold salt water. So it's basically a cold plunge for a horse. Yeah.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
No sauna though, right? Probably not.
Do they do the sauna?
No, I
after?
don't know that sauna would be a good idea.
it's too
They
hot.
might not be able to take
Yeah, I
that as
think-
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know you spend a lot of time on the road driving. If we were to get in the vehicle with you and go down the road, on a road trip to another rodeo at night, who are you listening to right now? What's on your music app or whatever, and you put it on? Who's some of your favorite artists and songs that's going on right now?
Man, I'm all over the place. I'm one of those that can listen to just about anything, but I'm going to say that Cody Johnson doesn't fail. Like, that's one thing I have learned about that guy, is like, he's going to have something good all the time. So even if it's his old stuff, I love country music. I love the older country music, 80s and 90s. That's my jam. I personally am a big fan of Queen too. So anything from their era, and those guys, just something to bring you a little bit of energy, but not drown you out and be too monotonous over time. So I'm a sing along to all the oldies kind of person, and I try and keep up with the newer stuff, but like, I don't do the TikTok, whatever, saw all these remixes. I'm like, I remember that song when it was original,
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah,
like the originals.
They start mixing a beat into it.
Yeah, the 90s country is the best.
I think so. And I think,
Where
I
is
even
that?
think, like you said, Cody Johnson's old stuff, his album, A Different Day, or that black and white label, like he really does not miss. He's great. And, I think I saw a thing that they're expecting another baby. So congratulations to him.
congrats.
And he does have great music.
What did he do in the rodeo?
Cody, I think he rode bulls.
Did he?
Yeah, he worked at the prison in Sam Houston, or in Huntsville, I believe, and he rode bulls. And I remember a story that he used to sit on the back of his tailgate and play people his songs. And then he started burning CDs and selling them at rodeos. And he's like, I think this music thing is better than riding these bulls. So he said it paid better. So the music did.
Parker McCullum said it best the other day. He played the Kid Rock rodeo with Kid, and he said, rodeo's great, but the one person that's guaranteed to get paid at this deal is the musician afterwards.
Exactly.
Versus you guys, you're putting up an entry fee, and you might win a lot, but you might win nothing.
So
You're right, bud.
So was Kid Rock's thing, was that something Kid Rock put on, or was this something that the rodeo put on?
What was that? It wasn't the American, right?
It's not the American. Yeah, it's a new deal that's partnered with the PBR. And my friend Luke Branquino is actually the commissioner of, and it's Kid Rock's idea to basically, he has a concert, but he has his own rodeo, and there is a team concept to it. So like you were talking about, they do a draft and things like that. I personally haven't got to go. I think it'd be really cool, but date wise hasn't worked out. But yeah, just new innovative thing that he's kind of come up with to join rodeo and music. Yeah, another thing that was a lot like that concept was the Hondo Rodeo. McCoy Pro Rodeo put that on in Phoenix last year at Chase Field. So we're at the baseball stadium, and it was a music festival with a rodeo at the beginning. And it was so cool. I mean, these are country music fans. I watched Brooks and Dunn play. I stood at the front of the stage and sang My Maria as loud as anybody could sing My Maria. I mean, it was just the coolest thing to join those two worlds. So looking forward to going back to that one as well.
Yeah, we saw that last night. An advertisement for it. Nickelback, Al Dean, and Cody Johnson all this year, the headliners.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So you love to see that crossover. It's odd to me that there hasn't been more of it in the past, but I think it's great because it's a similar fan base. Everybody wants to listen to these songs and watch the coolest show on dirt. So you might as well put it at one place. Logistics are tough, not going to lie, especially with a barrel horse. We're talking about the highest performing equine athlete who doesn't like loud noises, and yet we're going to put them in a stadium at a music festival. But if we work with these guys that are producing these events best we can to kind of give them advice from our side, what it's got to look like, what these horses need to be able to compete at their best, but also be able to give you a great show for the fans. So there's a lot of logistics to it that are still working themselves out, but we're getting there.
So is it true that these bulls that they ride, when they in the back and everything, they're just like big old pets?
I've never been able to pet one.
Really?
I've been thankfully, like Jake and Randy taking me behind the chutes a couple of times at rodeos, and those bulls won't get close to the fence to let you touch. Like, I've always like, can you pet that? He's like, no, he's not going to come over here. But, but I think that they're used to it, because if you notice, for the most part, I think 90% of the time, maybe even higher, that when they buck whoever off, they usually can turn and go right back to the gate for the most part, correct? Because they've done it so many times.
Yeah. And they're a lot like horses. They're trained. They know when to do their job, which is the bucking, and they love it. But as soon as they get that guy off, like you said, they're like, all right, they've got a little bit of an ego, but they're not out there to kill a guy. I mean, they're out there to show off, be athletic. So there are a couple, though, that if you talk to the right stock contractors, they'll tell you can pet this one. Like, stand by the fence, he'll come over. But, I mean, watch your hand, because they'll smash you in between the fence and your hand trying to get a good scratch. These are still 1,500-pound bulls.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we won't keep you too much longer. You're a Texas girl, and we're here in Georgia today, but I gotta ask, since you're a Texas girl, what's your go-to Whataburger order?
Oh man, it depends on the day, but I'm going to say in general, I love the patty melt meal. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to get a sweet tea. I'm probably going to end up with a Dr. Pepper shake by the time I get to the end of that line, just because how could you not? Coffee's always good though. And I just love that about Whataburgers. Appreciate them always having coffee ready. So yeah, that'd be if I had to pick one, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, we stopped, I went to work for Aaron Watson, and we stopped, the other night. It was 10:55 when we walked in. He goes, "What are you going to get?" I said, "I'm waiting 5 minutes. I want breakfast." He said, "You're seriously going to wait?" And I said, "Yeah, what's 5 minutes? To cook your burger is going to take 10, but that's what I like about Whataburger is they make it fresh to order,
I never had good luck with Whataburger.
So, but since we are in Georgia, we got to know what's your go-to Chick-fil-A order.
Oh, I love Chick-fil-A. Now, my dad's a cattle rancher, so don't tell him I said this, but I'm a big Chick-fil-A fan. If he's not in the car, I'll stop. But yeah, I'm a classic number one. Or if I'm feeling froggy, the grilled nuggets, they go a long way. The waffle fries are amazing. Same thing I can do with sweet tea. Love their iced coffee though. I can tell I drink a lot of coffee, but you driving will do that to you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I can't thank you enough for your time. We wish you the best of luck tonight and tomorrow as well, correct, in Oklahoma?
Yeah, thank you.
And then you got one more, you said?
Yeah, well, I'll head home after this, and then I will take off next week. We're actually going to Nashville to a road. First time Nashville's ever had a pro rodeo, but they're having a big one, so that's going to be fun. A little bit more music sprinkled in, and then we take off for the summer in a few weeks, and I'll stay going after that.
When is the one in Nashville?
It's next weekend. I want to say that'd be May 29th through the 31st, right out there. I think I'm up there the 31st, Friday night lights, so that's going to be fun.
So you'll be there the 31st too? They'll be doing it that day?
Just I guess that'd be the 30th. That'd be the only one that I'd be up at is that Friday night. I'm up at a different rodeo that next night on Saturday. So the one thing about me, I don't get to stay in one place very long, but don't get to do a lot of sightseeing. And that's too bad because Nashville would be a place I'd love to hang out. But in this case, we'll pop in, run barrels, and head back home.
I'm gonna have to go check it out. I'll be in Nashville next weekend, so
No way.
Yeah. You can check it out.
Yeah. Well, Hailey, we appreciate your time. We wish you the best of luck, safe travels for the summer. And I'm sure I will see you in Vegas this year. Aaron's got 3 shows already booked, and I'll probably see you before then too somewhere. He does a lot of rodeo stuff, and other than that, I do have one. So the American, do you like that concept?
I do. I like the American. I've had a lot of luck at it myself. Man, I sure wish we could all run for $1 million. I hate to be greedy, but it's tough that only certain people can. But I also know that's part of what makes it exciting. That there's people that have got this shot at $1 million. But man, it makes people like me be like, it wouldn't be bad if I didn't do so good one year and could maybe be eligible for the $1 million. That's a cool concept. I got to do a lot of work on that rodeo. I've got to commentate that rodeo from the box, and being in the press box watching is not as exciting as being on the arena floor, but it's pretty dang cool.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate your time. Safe travels, be safe, and good luck. And I hope to see you in December in Las Vegas.
I hope to see you there. Hopefully see you in Nashville next week.
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Well, this is Keith Kilgore, Johnny Free, our guest today, 4-time world champ, Hailey Kinsel. Thank you for your time. We'll see you next time.
I'm gonna trust myself. Oh, I'm gonna love myself.